everything new. We live new. A brighter path is calling me and you. Week by week, we grow inside with wisdom as our daily guide. A renewed mind, a journey we will see to become the best of who we're meant to be.
Hi, and welcome to the Renewed Mind Podcast, a space where clarity meets purpose and every thought becomes a step towards a better life. I'm your host, and my name is Tokunbo Akonmu, and I'm glad you're here. Each episode is designed to help you pause, reflect, and realign your thinking with the values that truly matter. Through simple, meaningful insights, we explore how a renewed mindset can shape the way you live, respond, and grow. So take a moment to settle in. Let's dive into today's conversation. Think about the most successful people you know: the entrepreneur, the artist, the athlete, the leader, the parent, the person you admire most. Now let me tell you something about them. They have failed more than you have. Yes, not just once, repeatedly, publicly, painfully, in ways that shook their confidence, in ways that cost them time, money, relationships. And somehow, they are still standing, still trying, still growing. Wow, that's the truth. So here's what I want you to know. Why do some people let failure destroy them, while others let it define them? Why does one person see failure as proof they are not enough, while another sees it as evidence they are learning? That's the food for thought question. What if the difference between the life you have and the life you want isn't talent or luck, but your willingness to fail? Yes. What if the people you admire didn't succeed despite their failures, but because of them? So today on Renewed Mind, we'll be talking about the word failure. And it might be the most misunderstood, most feared, most essential teacher in your life. Now let's define the word failure. The word failure means to deceive or fall short. But here's the trap. We have been taught that failure is final. That one failed relationship means you will always be alone. That one failed business means you are not an entrepreneur. That one failed exam means you are not intelligent. That's a lie. Yes, failure is not an identity. Failure is an event. It's information. It's feedback. It's the universe's way of saying that approach didn't work. Try again differently. Yes. Here's what failure actually does. And I want you to learn from this on today's episode. It teaches, it shows you what doesn't work so you can discover what does. It builds resilience. It deepens wisdom. It creates humility. It develops character that success alone never could. Yeah. And here's the profound part. Every expert was once a beginner who refused to quit after failing. Yeah. Every expert that you know, mention them. The entrepreneur who built $1 billion company had startup ideas that collapsed. The author whose book changed millions had manuscripts rejected dozens of times. The athlete who broke records through injuries and losses. Failure wasn't their enemy. Failure was their teacher. They are commonly confused words that has been used in replacing what failure is. And we're going to look at a few of them. One, we have failure and defeat. Defeat is final. It means you've given up. Failure is temporary. It means you've learned. You can experience failure 100 times and never be defeated if you keep trying. The difference is choice. Defeat is when you choose to stop. Failure is where life stops you and you get back up. Did you get that? Yes! So failure and mistake. Mistakes are unintentional errors. Failure is the result of attempting something hard. Mistakes happen to everyone. Failure only happens to people brave enough to try. Yeah, people brave enough to try. What are the steps to learning from failure? We're going to look at the steps that you can use to learn from failure. Number one, acknowledge the emotion. Failure hurts. Disappointment is real. Let yourself feel it for a moment. Don't suppress it. Don't suppress it. No. Number two is separate the event from the identity. Say out loud, I failed at this, but I am not a failure. This distinction is crucial. This distinction is crucial. The next step is extract the lesson. Write down, what did this failure teach me? What will I do differently next time? Did you get that? Write it down. And the next step is identify what worked. Yeah, not everything was wrong. No. What part of your attempt was working? Build on that. Did you get that? So focus on what actually worked. And the next step is adjust your approach. You don't need a completely different strategy. You need a refined one. Tweak, adjust, and try again. Please share your story. The power of failure multiplies when you share it. Tell someone else what you learned. Your vulnerability becomes their teacher. And the last step is try again. This is the biggest part, and it is non-negotiable. If you don't try again, the failure becomes permanent, and it now can lead to a defeat. But if you try again, it becomes a chapter in your success story. So you have to try again. You have to try again. Now let's imagine this together. Imagine a staircase. At the top is the life you want to live, the goal you're chasing, the dream you've always had in your mind. Most people imagine they will take one big leap and land on the top step. But the reality is different. The first step up, you stumble, you don't make it, you fall back down. That's the first failure. Then you try again, learning from what happened, you make it 2 steps up, but then you slip, then you fall back down. That's the second failure. Then you try again, 3 steps, then you fall again. That's the third failure. This doesn't feel like progress. Yes, I know. It feels like you are going nowhere. It feels like you are stunted. It feels like you're failing. But shall I tell you this? You are not. And I'm going to tell you what actually is happening to you. Each time you fall, you're learning. Your muscles are adapting. Your technique is improving. The staircase are becoming less foreign to you. Yes. And that's the way it works with people that has overcome failure. And then one day, you look down and realize you've made it halfway up the staircase. You didn't notice it happened gradually. Or it happened. Yes. The failure weren't the tools. No. They were the staircase itself. Did you get that? They were the staircase itself. Without those flaws, those lessons, those adjustments, you will never have the strength, the wisdom, the resilience to reach the top. No, you will not have it. Every successful person that I know, every successful person that you know, have walked this staircase. They didn't levitate to the top. Listen, they climbed, they fell, they landed, and they climbed again. Listen to this. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone to success. Failure is the stepping stone to success. That is why the only real failure is the failure to try. Yes, the only real failure is the failure to try. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Remember that once you don't try again, that is when it becomes a defeat. I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's somebody's mindset. And that's how you have to approach each thing. That failure is simply the opportunity to begin again. This time, more wisely. This time, more better. This time, more accurate. This time, more better. Here is something I want you to understand deeply. Failure is not your enemy. Fear of failure is actually the real enemy. Fear of failure keeps you from trying. Fear of failure keeps you small. Fear of failure keeps you safe and safely stuck. But the moment you decide that failure is information, not identity, everything changes. You become willing to try things that scare you. You become willing to build things that might not work. You become willing to pursue dreams that have no guarantee of success. And that willingness, that's where transformation lives. Yes, that's where transformation lives. That's why the biggest tragedy isn't failing. It's never trying because you are afraid of failing. So I want you to reframe something today. Stop seeing your past failure as proof of your inadequacy. Start seeing them as proof of your courage. You tried. That takes bravery. And I want you to reframe your future failures too. They are coming. If you're growing, if you're challenging yourself, failure is inevitable. But instead of seeing it as an ending, see it as education. See it as data. See it as the universe's way of saying you are on the edge of growth. Keep going. So here's my challenge to you this week. Reflect on the recent failure and note the lesson learned from it. I want you to take a moment to reflect on it. Don't hide from it. Don't minimize it. Extract the gold from it. What did it teach you? How did it change you? What will you do better? What will you do differently next time? What strength did you build inside you? And that is how you approach the next time that you want to go about the same action. Because that lesson, that wisdom is worth more than 100 easy successes. Yes. And this week, I want you to challenge yourself and do that. Thank you for spending this time with me on the Renewed Mind podcast. I hope today's episode gave you something meaningful and insightful to carry into your week. Remember that renewal starts in the mind. First, with the thoughts you choose and the perspective you embrace. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to follow the podcast and share it with someone who needs it too. And as we close, I want you to say this with me, that my mind is renewed, my steps are aligned, my life is changing, and I become better. Until next time, remember it's about thinking new and living new. Thank you, and have a good week.
Start your Monday with a rising flame, a clearer vision, a higher aim. On every platform, hear the call to stand up stronger after every fall. Renewed mind, we think new, we live new, together finding all that's true. A year of growth, a steady climb, a better